this whole idea is complete genius. The artistry is absolutely beautiful. And this lineup of music artists would make one of the best concerts ever. So thank you. As you can see, I'm a music fan by the posters on my wall. So I'm curious, Chris, for you, how did this come about? I mean, did you just have a light bulb moment one day where you thought, I'm going to put together this incredible group of artists to write songs about civics that we're going to animate? I mean, how does that even happen?
You know, I've spent my career trying to work during the day on the things that bother me at night and keep me up and keep me awake. And the last few years have been really intense. And I'm someone who has always followed politics and loved the idea of governance. And I felt like we had lost a common language of how to think about our country, how to feel like Americans outside of any political split. I had moved to Netflix and they were saying, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do this. And at the same time, the Obamas had moved to Netflix. Barris was at Netflix. And so we joined forces to bring this project together. And once you have the Obamas on board, you get to dream your dream scenario. And these 10 animators and these 10 musical artists were exactly that.
H.E.R, for you, I mean, what is that like when you get approached with a project like this? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. You want to do something that's Netflix and the Obamas, but then you find yourself having to write a song about a subject like this. So how does that work?
Well, I mean, I enjoy those kinds of challenges, you know, writing a song with a purpose, with an intent to educate or start a movement or start a change or something like that. Like that's in line with what I want to do anyways in my own music. So when I heard about the project, I was like, of course I want to be part of this. And I felt like, you know, this is like perfect, you know? And so I just thought it was so special. You know, one of the goals is always, of course, to inspire, especially young girls, but to inspire all people and empower all people. And what better way to do it than with a project like this on a great platform that we watch every day anyways, you know? So I thought this would be a really, really great project.
What was your process for writing this song? Is it something that you did quickly, or does it slow everything down when you know that you have to do this project and you hope that, you know, the Obamas are happy with it when you're done?
Right. It took a bit of time. I mean, I was doing so many other things, and this required, you know, so much focus and making sure the facts were right and making sure everything was correct. So what I really wanted to do was like make sure I was in the right like mindset, you know, to write about this and get excited about it. And I really wanted to make a feel good song, you know, like when you hear something about active citizenship, it should make you want to get up and do something, whether it's get up and dance or whatever. So I kind of thought about that, like it should be a little upbeat, have a little bit of a groove to it. And I started to think about all of these things that it means to be an active citizen, all of those things. And I realized there were things that I kind of already knew, you know, but I just forgot that that's really what it means to be an active citizen. You hear that word and, you know, kids probably get intimidated, but it's daily things. It's things that we think are small, but really contribute to big change. So that's what I thought about. And thinking about that hook, you know, we've all felt like we don't matter, our voices don't matter, or, you know, we're just one person, or I'm too young, or I come from this background, or I'm this, I can't do anything. This song is really letting people know you have a voice and it does matter.
I'm just going to jump in and say, when that song came in, we all knew we were suddenly sitting on something that was like clicking on a different level. And it was one of the first songs that we heard back from President Obama, that he had heard it and that he was so incredibly moved by it. We also used it as bait to get Peter on board. So.
And it worked.
Yeah, I mean, Peter, you obviously know what you're doing when it comes to animated projects that push boundaries, but what were the unique challenges with something like this? To take this song, to have your own animation style, to do it all in 3 minutes seems crazy.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The song made it easy. You know, honestly, the storytelling and the vibe of the song were so complete. You know, her got the assignment so perfectly that it was just drawing on what she had already created in the song. I mean, just the the lyric that she referenced, if I'm just one person, does my voice even stand out? That alone kind of tells you, oh, this is the story of one young woman who's, a little intimidated, but is going to become brave enough to speak up and make a change. And there were other images, drawn from the lyrics that, the city council meeting, a letter to the mayor, planting a tree and recycling. That idea became like the spine of the whole thing. So it was all there, and the visual style and the rhythm of what we wanted to do in terms of our images, our transitions, our colors, all of that came out of the vibe of the song. So it was really, you just had to be open to what was already there. So, so completely and go with it. And yeah, that really was the blueprint, and it was easy.
Yeah. I mean, those lyrics really struck me too. It made me immediately remember a friend that I had in high school who told me, I don't vote. I'm not going to do that because it doesn't affect me. Right. This isn't going to do anything in my life. And now I can refer people like that to this song. So
yeah, I mean, you get 30 million people saying the same thing, and yeah, of course nothing's going to happen, but if you have, one person, like, hopefully, knock on wood, one person hears this song and goes, hey, wait a minute, and gets inspired just to speak up a little bit and touch all these other people.
When you look at past work like Schoolhouse Rock and even like Hamilton, is the trick then to getting people to learn something that might seem dry or boring or uninteresting, just making it really cool?
I think so.
Yes, which is why we got her on this project. I'm not going to make anything cool. Her's going to make it cool.
Yeah, I think it's things that we should already know. And the problem is working against the way that some things have been presented at some point. Sometimes it's the way at which it's been presented before can discourage us from thinking that, it's important. So it's really just bringing the focus back on like, hey, it's this, it may not be simple, but it's this important, and it's really daily things, and it's things that do matter. And yeah, when you have a good beat to that, then of course, like it's yeah, of course you hear it and you're kind of learning on accident in a way. You're learning on accident because you love the song and you're digesting that song. And sometimes when you're taking in a message, you don't realize that you're getting out that message, that you start thinking differently, you start moving differently because of what you heard, because of how much it affected you.
I was just going to say, one of my biggest fears right now in this moment in our country, both politically after, COVID, after George Floyd, after everything that is going on, is that it's going to make kids sad, depressed, and lean back, right? And to feel powerless. And I think all of us feel this sense that actually we have a bright future if our youth get involved. And we're just trying to say, we are the people. You are the people. Go take your power and change what you don't like in this country. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not political. Civics is about, you have the power to get your opinion moved through this country and change the direction we're going in.
Chris, what was it like for you to go from this idea to then having this incredible lineup of musical artists and this beautiful visual animation to accompany it, and to see all those finished products?
Well, I've mentioned I tend to cry a lot. I'm pretty emotional. And there have been quite a few moments on this project where that's been the case. But look, for me, it's selfish. I don't know how to get up in the morning and attack my day and feel positive if I'm not actually using the work that I do to affect change. So the fact that so many incredible people joined me in that process, I hope they too are taking in the selfish part of it. Being involved is both a selfless and selfish act. You will feel better if you take some power and go out there and be bold. And, this is a world of like, I asked Kenya, I asked the president and the first lady, we asked all these artists. And if you're on point, people will join you.
Did you ever get nervous or worried along the way that somebody wouldn't be able to deliver?
Yes. Oh my goodness, all the time. And yet every single one of these songs is amazing. I mean, I was worried about, we were asking for a lot of content in some of these, and it just inherently was a lot to ask. Hey, can you make a radio play song about Fed versus state or taxes? We knew it was a big ask, but everybody stepped up. The songs are amazing.
I'm such a big music fan that there are albums in my life that I remember my life before I heard that album and my life after I heard that album. And there's been some conversation today about, how songwriting is sort of a musical artist's superpower. So I'm curious for her, I mean, because that is something that is so elusive, it's hard to explain to people how you write a song. Does it feel like a superpower?
It does, because it's like a given for most songwriters. It's not something that you've had to think about too much. You kind of just do it. It's really a gift. It's a gift, and it's like if you use your gift and your superpower for good, then you're a superhero. And that, I think that's a beautiful thing, is when you can do something that you love, and it just so happens that it changes people's lives, or it just so happens that it teaches people, or makes people feel good. And kind of does feel like a superpower.
Peter, for you, I mean, you've done animated features. Did doing something like this that is only 3 minutes, did it change how you view animation? Is it going to affect how you do animated features going forward?
Interesting.
Are you going to hand in a 5-minute feature and be like, I'm done? I'm out.
Done. I don't know if it changed anything about that. I mean, it made me want to do more short pieces. My whole career has been in features, so weirdly enough, the idea of doing shorts was a little like, wow, I don't know if I can, that's not much time. But once again, I have to keep going back. I have to keep going back to the song. I mean, it was so much all there. I mean, I was going back and forth with Chris for a long time about whether I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do it. And this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, as soon as I heard the song, I mean, the ideas just started to download right away. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is going to work. And luckily for me, I think it worked. I think it worked pretty well. So yeah, I mean, I guess the thing I learned was just say yes more often, probably.
I'm going to call you in about 10 minutes with my next ask, Peter, while you're in that mood.
Yeah, I mean, for her, what was it like to see the visual with your music? I mean, seeing that for you all put together, did it feel like it came out of your head, or were you surprised to see it brought to life in that way?
Oh man, I haven't even got to tell Peter how excited and how amazing that it turned out. Like the details and the diversity, and like he said, like kind of starting off with not necessarily being sad, but more melancholy, kind of like, okay, what can I make of this world? Colors, and then going into this vibrant world. And like you said, the planting seeds with the trees, and the guy with the boom box was probably my favorite part, just because like, it shows that's literally a visual representation of a call to action, and how fun that can be, and how important it is, and how we do it anyways. But this is another level of doing it. And literally brought the lyrics to life. It was like really cool to see. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a whole, like, it really made it special, because I know we all kind of went into it with this passion. So when you see it come to life, it turns out to be more than anything you expect, because, it's the special thing. And I know for Chris has been a really like thing that's been close to her. So, I was just so proud to be a part of it because of her passion. And to see it brought to life is like, wow, like this could be something that is in the classrooms and in people's homes for so many years, and it will be for so many years to come. And that's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, how does it feel to be able to make social and political change through your music? Between I Can't Breathe and your song for Judas and the Black Messiah, leading to an Oscar. I mean, like, what does that feel like?
It's overwhelming in a really good way. Initially it's like, Oh, wow. You know, somebody told me one of my songs, their 70-year-old Jewish father called them and was like, have you heard this song by this girl? It made me think differently. And at that moment, I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like something that I wrote is making, you know, somebody think differently. And that's how you change the world. It's those small, those little things. And I can't believe that, you know, just me, you know, I'm doing something like that. It's very, very, very special. But it reminds me like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing, and you know, don't feel like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. It's like I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing, and in a way that is just so personal to me. That's why it's affecting people, because it's something that I feel. It's coming from me. It's not coming from like, oh, because I have a bunch of followers, I have to speak out on this. When we think that way, we only move when we feel an obligation to, and not because we want to. And I think that's one of the biggest things, especially with a project like this. Like, oh, I think we need to have this. Like, why don't we want to? Like, there would be so much more change if we felt like more compassion, you know, more compassion towards people, more compassion towards making a change, and looking at the world and actually asking those questions to ourselves, and not waiting for the next person to do it because they feel an obligation to. So yeah, you know, it's bigger than a responsibility. It should be the way that it is.
Well, for all of you, please keep doing what you're doing, because this was awesome. And I appreciate you talking to me about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.